January 11th, 1888. Monticello, Arkansas. A child enters the world beneath winter skies, one whose name would someday echo across battlefields, whose fury would rattle tank commanders from Normandy to the Rhine. The boy knows nothing yet of the wars awaiting him, of the iron he will command, of the enemies who will learn to fear the growl in his voice. His name is John Shirley Wood. History will call him Tiger Jack. By the time Wood reaches manhood, America remains a nation caught between centuries, still clinging to cavalry charges and fixed positions, blind to the mechanized future already taking shape across the Atlantic. Young Wood sees what others cannot. While his peers memorize the stale lessons of trench warfare, he studies movement, speed, the marriage of steel and fire. He's older than most cadets when he arrives at West Point, his vision so poor that only a football-mad medical officer saved his career before it begins. On the gridiron and in the classroom, Wood earns the respect of men who will later wear stars on their shoulders. Eisenhower, Bradley, Patton. They recognize something in him, a refusal to bend, a mind that questions every sacred doctrine. The Great War ends in muddy stalemate, and the victors learn all the wrong lessons. America builds its armies around barbed wire and entrenchments. Wood preaches mobility, armored columns cutting deep, aircraft overhead, rapid strikes that shatter defensive lines before they harden. His ideas are dismissed. France builds the Maginot Line. America waits. Only in Germany do similar voices find fertile ground, where a reborn Wehrmacht studies maneuver warfare with terrifying focus. Wood watches the storm clouds gather. He teaches, he plans, he waits for his moment. December 7th, 1941. Pearl Harbor burns, and America stumbles into the inferno. By May 1942, Brigadier General Wood takes command of the newly formed 4th Armored Division. He is 54 years old, promoted to Major General within weeks. His division trains with monastic discipline, absorbing every lesson the Wehrmacht has already written in blood across Poland, France, and Russia. Wood knows his men will face veterans who have perfected the art of armored warfare. He drives them hard. They do not complain. They understand what awaits them. July 28, 1944. 9:45 a.m. Normandy, France. The 4th Armored Division surges through a gap torn in German lines, 18 miles in a single day to Coutances. Enemy positions collapse in their wake. Roadblocks smashed, rear guards overrun, minefields bypassed in a chaos. Wood leads from the front, his columns hunting targets without pause. 2 days later, they thunder into Avranches so suddenly that the German 7th Army commander flees on foot, abandoning his headquarters. The path into central France lies open. Patton's 3rd Army pours through the breach Wood has carved. The division does not stop. Pont Taubal falls. A bridgehead over the Saloon River is secured. By month's end, they have shattered 3 infantry divisions, a paratroop division, and elements of the 2nd SS Panzer Division. More than 3,000 prisoners stumble rearward, dazed by the ferocity of American blitzkrieg tactics. The hunters have become the hunted. Sergeant C.A. Klinga of the 8th Tank Battalion surveys the disoriented enemy wandering through their lines and grins. They got us surrounded again, the poor bastards. It is no joke. The 4th Armored has driven so deep into enemy territory that German forces encircle them, but these scattered remnants pose no threat. Wehrmacht formations in France are dissolving, their retreat degenerating into panicked flight eastward. Wood's men clear the Cotentin Peninsula, race toward Nantes, guided through minefields by French resistance fighters who emerge from shadows to point the way. By August 12th, Nantes is liberated. The 4th has advanced so far ahead of friendly lines that they must wait 3 days for other units to catch up and garrison the city. Then they wheel east. Operation Dragoon, the Allied landings on France's Mediterranean coast, provides the anvil against which Wood's hammer will crush retreating German forces. His tanks chase the enemy toward the Swiss border, intercepting columns fleeing the southern invasion. Orleans falls. A pontoon bridge crosses the Meuse River on August 31st. The division has lost count of the towns it has freed, the Nazi formations it has destroyed. In many cases, they simply disarm demoralized prisoners and send them rearward unescorted. There is no time for formal surrenders. At Troyes, they deliver a masterclass in armored assault. 800 Americans charge across 3.5 miles of open ground toward a city defended by 3,000 troops, including the entire 51st SS Brigade. Sherman tanks roar forward at full throttle, weaving unpredictable patterns that frustrate German artillery. They leap a 7-foot anti-tank ditch, collapsing it onto enemy soldiers below. Armored infantry dismount to shield the tanks from Panzerfaust teams. White phosphorus and high explosives gut German positions. By dawn on August 26th, an ammunition convoy attempting to escape is annihilated. A relief column is savaged. Troyes, a fortress that could have stalled the Allied advance for weeks, falls in hours. 533 Germans killed, 557 captured. Then the fuel runs out. Wood's lightning advance grinds to a halt not from enemy action, but from empty gas tanks. The division has outpaced its own supply lines. For days they wait, scrounging enough fuel to ford the Moselle River after the Germans blow the bridges. Wood orders his gunners to pound the riverbanks with 75mm shells, collapsing the slopes. Logs are hurled into the muddy canal beds to support the tank's weight. They cross without waiting for engineers. Nancy is encircled and secured. But not all resistance comes from the Wehrmacht. On September 15th, Wood's command crosses the Moselle. The German First Army has no reserves. The road to Saarburg lies open. Wood sees the opportunity, strike now, before the enemy regroups. But 12th Corps Commander General Manton Eddy orders the 4th Armored to the rear, directing them to assist the 35th Division in tidying up the battlefield. The chance to seize Saarburg evaporates. Wood's advance is halted at Ericourt. Adolf Hitler hears of the American tank commander tearing through his western defenses. The Fuhrer personally orders General Otto von Manschuffel's 5th Panzer Army to counterattack, retake Lunéville, wipe out the American bridgeheads across the Moselle. September 19, 1944. Von Manschuffel's Panthers roll forward, expecting to crush the smaller, thinner-skinned Shermans. Instead, Wood's tankers attack the weak points, tracks, side armor. Armored infantry target the same vulnerabilities with field guns. P-47 Thunderbolts scream from the sky, bombs and machine gun fire shredding German formations. By September 22nd, 150 panzers are burning wreckage. On Columbus Day, after 87 days in continuous combat, the 4th Armored Division pulls back for rest. Wood has been urging an assault on the Siegfried Line before it can be fully manned, but the supply crisis delays the offensive until Veterans Day. By then, autumn rains have transformed Alsace-Lorraine into freezing swamps. Rivers overflow their banks. Visibility vanishes. Air support is grounded. Restricted to paved roads, Wood's tanks become vulnerable to German 88mm flak guns, dreadful weapons that pick off Shermans with methodical precision. Still they fight. The left flank of the German 48th Infantry Division is pulverized on the first day. Viviers, Hancourt, Château-Salins, Rodilby all fall. Street fighting in Fodeny is savage, but the town is cleared. Gubbling is secured under withering artillery fire. Morges falls on November 16th. Wood is awarded a Bronze Star. He never wears it. By Thanksgiving Day, the division liberates Fenitrange. They blast through to the Saar River and cross by November 25th. In doing so, they move beyond 12 Corps' boundaries into 15 Corps' sector, a maneuver that inadvertently saves 15 Corps from disaster. The Panzerlehr Armored Division launches a surprise attack against 15 Corps' exposed flank on November 25th, intending to retake the vital Saarburg-Saverna road. The 4th Armored, positioned just east of the Saar, slams into Panzerlehr's flank without warning. The German offensive collapses. By November 27th, Panzerlehr is driven back to its starting point. December 3, 1944. The division secures the region around Domfessel. They prepare to resume the eastward drive. Then, without warning, General John Shirley Wood is relieved of command and ordered back to the United States. Allied Supreme Commander General Dwight Eisenhower explains that he wants his premier tank commander to have a break from constant combat. Both Eisenhower and Patton assure Wood he will return to lead his men to final victory. The call never comes. America's greatest armored leader spends the rest of the war behind a desk at Fort Knox. Many suspect the truth. Wood's removal stems from his bitter clash with General Manton Eddy. On December 1st, in a railroad station outside Mackweiler, Eddy accuses the 4th Armored, the division that has advanced farther and faster than any Allied unit in Europe, of moving too slowly, of not fighting hard enough. Eddy is furious that Wood lingered in 7th Army Zone during the battle with Panzerlehr, refusing to leave before the enemy was completely routed. Wood walks out mid-argument. Days later, he is gone. The 4th Armored Division's new commander is Major General Hugh H. Gaffey, former 3rd Army Chief of Staff. Wood is assigned to clerical duties. December 16, 1944. German forces erupt from the fog-shrouded Ardennes forest, launching the massive counter-offensive that becomes the Battle of the Bulge. Had Wood been there, leading his division with the audacity and speed that defined his command, the outcome might have been different. He might have blunted the German thrust within days, driving into its flanks with the same ferocity he brought to every engagement. But Tiger Jack is an ocean away, filing paperwork. Watching the war he should have finished slipped toward its slow, bloody conclusion. July 2, 1966. General John Shirley would dies quietly in an America that no longer celebrates its warriors. His burial at West Point is muted, attended by few. In 4 months of furious combat, he demonstrated a brand of warfare that could have ended the European conflict markedly sooner. Rapid, total, unrelenting. Instead, he was pulled from the field when he was most needed, denied the chance to lead the final destruction of the Nazi state. History remembers the tiger who roared back at Patton, who refused to submit, who saw the future of warfare when others clung to the past. The general who turned armor into lightning, who taught the Wehrmacht that blitzkrieg was not theirs alone.